The jungle isn't quiet. It breathes. Slow, heavy, ancient. Under the green canopy, something waits. Something we were never supposed to find. Cities that weren't in the textbooks. Roads that once carried thousands. Pyramids that reached for the sky. And then, nothing. The forest swallowed it all. For 500 years, the Amazon hid a secret so big it rewrites an entire chapter of human history. And only now, we're finally seeing what was buried beneath the trees. This is the story of the lost kingdom the world forgot. Hidden cities, impossible engineering, a civilization that thrived where we thought nothing permanent could survive. Welcome to the Amazon you were never shown. For centuries, we were told a story, a simple story. The Amazon rainforest was untouched, virgin wilderness, a green ocean where humans barely survived, scattered tribes moving through endless trees, living lightly on the land, never settling, never building, because the jungle wouldn't allow it. The soil was too poor, the rain too heavy, the forest too wild. Civilization belonged to the mountains and the coasts. Not here, never here. The Amazon was nature's fortress, beautiful, deadly, and empty of history. But that story was wrong, completely wrong. And the truth? It's far stranger. It's 1999. A Brazilian geographer named Alço Ranzi is flying over Acre State, Western Amazon, dense forest below, but something catches his eye. Shapes in the cleared land. Perfect circles, geometric patterns, too precise to be natural. He starts taking photographs. More flights, more patterns, squares within circles, roads connecting them, ditches that form perfect geometry. These aren't random. They're designed, built, ancient. The locals call them geoglyphs. But that word doesn't capture what they really are. These are the foundations of something massive, something organized, something that required thousands of hands. And they're everywhere. Ranzi finds dozens, then hundreds, scattered across the western Amazon like a hidden constellation, each one covered by centuries of regrowth, waiting to be seen again. The jungle had kept them hidden, but deforestation was revealing them one by one. And with each new discovery, the same question grew louder. Who built these? And why didn't we ever know they existed? Here's the problem with the Amazon. You can't see the ground. The canopy's too thick. The vegetation too dense. An entire city could hide beneath the leaves. For decades, archaeologists searched on foot. Slow, dangerous, limited. But in the early 2000s, everything changed. A technology called LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Planes equipped with lasers fly over the forest. Millions of pulses every second. The lasers penetrate the canopy. They bounce off branches, off leaves, off the ground itself. Computers process the returns. They filter out the vegetation. And what's left is the earth below, the true surface. Every ridge, every mound, every ancient structure, naked and visible. In 2018, archaeologists used LiDAR over the Bolivian Amazon. What they saw stopped them cold. Not scattered villages, not small settlements, urban centers, connected by raised roads, surrounded by defensive moats, organized into networks that stretched for miles. Pyramids rising from the jungle floor, plazas large enough for thousands, reservoirs engineered to capture water, agricultural fields laid out in perfect grids. This wasn't primitive. This was sophisticated. This was civilization. And it had been hiding in plain sight for 500 years. Let me tell you about what they found, because the scale's staggering. In the Llanos de Mojos region of Bolivia alone, LiDAR revealed over 4,000 square kilometers of settlements. That's an area larger than Rhode Island. Occupied, modified, shaped by human hands. The structures follow patterns. Platforms made of earth, some over 60 feet tall, built to raise homes above seasonal floods. Pyramids with flat tops, ceremonial centers, places of gathering and power. Roads connecting everything, not dirt paths, raised causeways, straight as arrows, stretching for miles through swamp and forest. Some over 60 feet wide, built to last, built to move people and goods, built for a society that was going somewhere. Defensive structures ring the settlements, ditches and walls, not for decoration, for protection. These cities had enemies. They had conflicts. They had something worth defending. And then there's the water management. Canals crisscrossing the landscape, reservoirs catching rainfall, fish weirs built into the waterways. These people understood hydrology. They controlled the flooding. They turned the wetlands into farmland. They engineered the jungle itself. Similar discoveries spread across the Amazon. In the upper Xingu region of Brazil, researchers found the remains of monumental settlements, 20 or more villages, connected by roads, each one with central plazas, each one surrounded by defensive ditches. Population estimates? Thousands per settlement, tens of thousands across the network, all living in a place we thought couldn't support large populations, all thriving in the so-called counterfeit paradise. In the upper Xingu, there's a people called the Kuikuro, Indigenous, still living, still connected to the land. For generations, they've told stories. Stories of their ancestors, great cities, powerful chiefs, a time when the forest belonged to them. Archaeologists heard these stories, and for too long, they didn't listen. But when the evidence started appearing, everything changed. The Kuikuro weren't telling myths. They were telling history. Their ancestors built those cities, shaped those plazas, walked those roads. The Kuikuro oral tradition preserved what the jungle tried to erase. They knew where the old villages stood. They knew how their people lived. They knew what was lost. And now, archaeology was proving them right. Researchers began working with the Kuikuro, learning, listening, mapping sites the indigenous people had never forgotten. Together, they uncovered something remarkable. The settlements weren't random. They followed a plan. Radial patterns, central plazas surrounded by homes, roads extending outward like spokes, each city a mirror of the cosmos, earth reflecting sky, order carved into wilderness. This was intentional, philosophical. These weren't just survivors scraping by. These were builders with vision, with purpose, with a culture as rich as any on Earth. Here's the question that haunted researchers. How'd they do it? The Amazon soil's notoriously poor, thin, acidic, nutrients leached away by constant rain. Conventional agriculture struggles here. So how did ancient Amazonians feed thousands? The answer lies in the soil itself. Terra preta, black earth, patches of dark, rich soil scattered throughout the Amazon, different from everything around it, deeper, more fertile, and completely man-made. Terra preta's biochar, created by controlled burning. The ancient Amazonians burned organic waste, bones, shells, plant matter. They burned it low and slow, creating charcoal. Then they mixed it into the soil. The charcoal holds nutrients. It holds water. It creates a home for microbes. And it lasts. 2,000 years later, Terra preta still enriches the soil, still grows better crops, still holds the fingerprints of ancient engineers. This wasn't accidental. This was knowledge, passed down through generations, refined over centuries. The Amazonians transformed the jungle into a garden. They didn't just survive the rainforest. They redesigned it. Imagine you're standing in one of these settlements. 1500 AD. The forest hums around you. But here, in the plaza, thousands gather. Children play near the central earthwork. Women weave cotton in the shade. Men return from the fields carrying manioc. Fish caught in engineered weirs. Fruits harvested from managed groves. The jungle provides, because it was taught to provide. Homes rise on platforms above the floodline. Thatched roofs keep out the rain. Smoke from cooking fires drifts upward. The air smells of earth and green growth. At the center of the plaza stands a pyramid. Not stone, earth, packed and shaped over generations. Stairs lead to the top. A temple, a meeting place, a symbol of power. From here, you can see the roads. Straight lines cutting through the trees, connecting this city to others. Traders walk those roads, carrying goods, sharing knowledge, bringing news from settlements days away. This is a network, a civilization, complex, organized, alive, and it's been here for over 1,000 years, thriving in a place the world said was impossible. Then everything ended, not slowly, not with war or famine, but with contact. 1492. Columbus reaches the Americas, and with him comes something invisible. Disease. Smallpox. Measles. Influenza. The indigenous people of the Americas have no immunity. None. The diseases spread faster than the conquistadors, faster than exploration, moving from tribe to tribe, settlement to settlement. Silent, unstoppable, deadly. 90% mortality in some areas. Entire cities emptied in years. The roads fall silent. The plazas empty. The knowledge keepers die. And with them, the knowledge. By the time European explorers penetrate deep into the Amazon, it's too late. They find scattered tribes, small groups, survivors, and they assume this is how it's always been. They don't see the cities, because the jungle's already taking them back. Without people to maintain them, the earthworks erode. Without farmers to tend them, the fields return to forest. Without feet to walk them, the roads disappear beneath vines. In a single human lifetime, centuries of civilization vanish, swallowed by green. By the early 1600s, the Amazon looks empty, pristine, untouched. And that's the story that spreads, the lie that becomes truth. The Amazon as eternal wilderness, when in reality, it's a graveyard, a monument to absence. Here's what we know now. The Amazon we see today isn't natural. Not entirely. It's shaped by the people who came before. Those patches of Brazil nut trees growing together, planted by ancient hands. Those groves of cacao, cultivated centuries ago. The distribution of fruit trees across the rainforest? Not random, intentional. The Amazon's a garden, tended for thousands of years, then abandoned, then forgotten. The virgin rainforest is actually recovering farmland. The pristine jungle is a monument to human engineering. Everywhere you look, there are fingerprints. Terra preta enriching the soil. Earthworks hidden beneath the canopy. Roads waiting to be rediscovered. The Amazon isn't a warning about nature's power over humanity. It's proof of how completely humanity can vanish. How thoroughly a forest can erase us. 500 years. That's all it took. From cities to silence. From civilization to mystery. From known to forgotten. Here's something that haunts me. We don't know what they called themselves. This entire civilization. Thousands of years of history. Millions of people. And we have no name for them. The Kuikuro remember their specific ancestors. The Mojo's people have their own history. But the greater culture that connected them? Lost. We call them by their regions. Their river systems. Their archaeological sites. But those aren't their names. Those are our labels, imposed after the fact, by outsiders looking backward. They had a name. They had languages. They had songs and stories. They had philosophies and gods. All of it's gone, erased more thoroughly than their cities. You can find a pyramid under LiDAR. You can't resurrect a lost language. Not without writing. Not without records. The Amazonian civilizations left monuments in Earth. But Earth doesn't hold words. It doesn't preserve voices. So they remain silent. Visible but voiceless. Present but nameless. A kingdom without a title. Think about what that means. An entire branch of human achievement. Separate from Egypt. Separate from Rome. Separate from China. Developing in parallel. Solving different problems. Creating different solutions. And we almost missed it entirely. If not for deforestation revealing the geoglyphs. If not for LiDAR piercing the canopy. If not for indigenous people remembering, we might never have known. The Amazon would have kept its secret forever, and humanity's story would be incomplete, missing a chapter, a vital chapter, about adaptation, about sustainability, about living with the forest instead of against it. These people created cities without destroying the jungle. They farmed without depleting the soil. They built infrastructure that worked with water, not against it. Knowledge we desperately need today. Knowledge that died with them. Knowledge we're only beginning to piece back together. From soil samples, from earthworks, from the memories of their descendants. The Amazon still holds more secrets. Every LiDAR survey reveals new structures. Every excavation uncovers new evidence. Archaeologists estimate we've found maybe 10% of what's there. 90% still hidden, still waiting, under the leaves, under the soil, under centuries of growth. The lost kingdom isn't entirely lost. It's just sleeping, waiting for us to look, waiting for us to listen, waiting for us to understand that wilderness and civilization aren't opposites. That humans and nature can build together. That the greatest cities aren't always made of stone. Sometimes they're made of earth. Living, breathing, part of the forest itself. The Amazon's not a void. It never was. It's a library, written in soil and structure, in managed groves and engineered waterways, in the stories of people who never left, who carry the past in their memories. And it's teaching us something vital, that civilizations rise and fall, that forests reclaim everything, that 500 years is nothing to the jungle. But also this, that even when everything seems lost, even when the cities crumble and the names fade, even when the jungle takes it all back, the truth remains, waiting beneath the trees, ready to be found by anyone patient enough to look. The lost kingdom beneath the Amazon. The cities that shouldn't exist, but did, and still do, if you know where to look. If you want to journey deeper into hidden history, subscribe to Story of Ages. Every week, I'm uncovering the stories the world forgot, the mysteries waiting to be solved, the past that refuses to stay buried. This is just the beginning.